Hello and welcome. It's Saturday morning, and that means that we have another anime ice shader to release, and this time we will talk about the legendary ice statues. So as you can see, this shader is intended to be used with any legendary statue that you have in your town animation, your 3D animation, your Mystic Legend Quest, or anything like that. Alright, so this is intended to be used with statues. I, in particular, like this faceted eyes look that it has from the triangles from sculpting. Okay, so if you're a digital sculptor and you have this nice statue, this nice eagle, this nice buffalo, this nice whatever hero, mystic hero that you have, you can apply this legendary ice statue shader, and the results are simply stunning. And as a personal preference, like I was mentioning, I like this faceted eyes thing. But if you don't, you just right click on this and then shade smooth, and then you're going to get this kind of appealing image. Alright, so we have this legendary thing right here. We have a frosted ice sound. The camera plays back. And I want to teach you how to use this. Now, the parameters on this are very short, very to the point. If you tab on them, and then I'm going to control spacebar to maximize the window, you can see that all of the parameters that you need to dabble with are right here. So everything that is in green, it's disconnected, but it's very near a value that you can change. And everything that is red, you can read alongside or right besides the node that this is going to be referring to. For example, this one says vary icy position of the snow. So the position of the snow is scale. So that's why it's right besides the scale factor. The same thing goes for contrast, for factor right here on difference. And let's see what else. We have a lot of things, so you can see there are other values that are unplugged, but they are directly connected out here, so that way you know which factor is which. Now, the most important factor probably that you need to know about is this one, where it says adjust the scale for top rock snow detail. So you're going to fiddle with these numbers, and depending on what you do, you're going to get different results. Now the frost that it says right here, the value, the threshold number is directly connected out there. The default value is right here, minus 3.363. And this is important because I didn't want to write a long note, which you will probably will not read on the fly. And so I just left all of these red nodes, which are very important. For example, this location Y animates the mask frost. That means this factor right here. I'm not gonna put it for you because I really want you to dig into this, lose your fear to take a look around of the nodes, and you really need to start managing these shaders on your own. Right now, this is the last shader that I'm going to be explaining all of these factors in video. You're going to get the rest of the ice shaders by themselves, everything labeled as I just showed you, so you can animate them. So let's animate this. Right here, this guy is going to start a frosting effect because the ice sound that we have right here is doing that. So let me duplicate my material. In this case, I already have this as legendary ice statue, and then I duplicated it, renamed it Hero Horse. Okay, and as you can see, your parameters are right here. You can even animate them straight from here, but I'm not going to do that. I want to do this on the legendary ice statue group. So we have this nice effect where we can reveal this in a Toonish shading versus the realistic shading. Now the realistic shading is just connected to a diffuse, so you will have to really light your scene. Another thing that I was previously mentioning, which I don't like, by the way, is to work with the real world environment. For example, right now everything is set to black, as you can see right here. If I switch this from black to something like, I don't know, a very cold weather, such as this, or even a gradient, that is going to affect the color of the ice. Because some people just ask me, I want to work with something that feels semi-realistic, but yet still Toon. I personally don't like that, but since we're getting near the 10K, I might as well release it however you like to use this one. Alright, so I'm going to put the lights back on a very dark blue environment like such, because it gives a nice color to the statue. And let's animate this. So the frosting effect starts here, and then it ends over here. So the first thing I want to find here is a frost effect. Let's see if we connected this, and sure enough, it says top snow frost mask. So I'm going to copy this value just like we mentioned before, because there is no way that we can reset this. So as you can see, my frost effect is coming from the top to the bottom. Generally speaking, this is what is going to happen in reality. Okay, so you're going to get your upper topmost part of the statue getting frosted like this. But the frost effect is too big. No problem. Let's just paste that, and then I'm going to press I to select to insert rather the first keyframe, and then I'm going to go to the end of this sound, and then I'm going to completely cover my statue. I'm going to press shift, so this will not happen too fast, but rather will happen slowly over time. Okay, so look at his foot right there. I want the statue completely covered in frosted ice. So insert the keyframe. Now let's go back. As we can see, the frosting effect is taking over. Okay, this is very gigantic. So let's switch some of that. So this is the first part where I want you to dive into the node. So select the node, press tab. And let's find that red node where it says that we need to fiddle with the scale. It says adjust the scale for top rock snow detail, which is basically this. So let's fiddle around that, and sure enough, we found it. Let's scale some more in the x-axis like such, and this one like such. It's getting a nice, really awesome effect for a frosty frosted wind statue, and I guess that will work. Probably something over there. Now let's play it back. Yes, indeed. Look at that. Oh my goodness, that is just fantastic. Look at that. Perfect. I mean, the wind is coming into that direction, and whatever you need to tweak there, you just go and find your setting. So that's cool. Alright, so now we need to defrost this guy. Okay, but we're going to use another cool trick. So since his has been frosted, let's defrost it by using the ice contrast and then the ice saturation thing. So let's continue to work with this. I want to put the ice saturation at 1 I keyframe, and over here I want to desaturate. I will not have color, so look at that. Now it's changing. Okay, the inner temperature, it's equalizing with the external temperature, and now the ice is converting itself into frost. Very cool. What else do we have here? We have roughness. This is fake roughness, by the way. This is not the actual real thing, but you can switch this around if you feel like it, because it plays like a very watery thing versus a frosted inside. Okay, so I'll leave you with that parameter so you can play with that. Now the inner crystal size is going to work with the, probably we don't see it here because now it's frozen, but it's dealing with the facets that we earlier spoke about, so you can switch that for the contrast between them. So you even have another parameter for inner rock contrast, and that of course is going to leave you with a better desaturated ice, but you can still stylize it nevertheless by lowering the contrast. Okay, so if you want this really awesome looking ice, let's see how it freezes. Oh my gosh, this is just, oh my goodness, this is just fantastic. Look at that. And finally, you can play with these other settings as well. And just like I mentioned, this is the ice Toon, and if you take this slide bar all the way over here, you're going to get a very desaturated, uh, but it's a very desaturated look, but it's going to obey the lighting that you have in your environment. So let's say that I want just a tad realistic, just a tad toonish. 0.6 works for me. Let's switch this environment. Of course, if you place an HDRI environment, which I don't recommend you doing because you're going for a toonish look. But you can use it nevertheless, and then render out the result. Look at that! Look at that! This is just fantastic. My, this is looking awesome. So that's cool. Alright, we finished with this one. Let's go with the legendary Ice Dragon statue, which most of you already were asking for this. And if you play it back, the frost effect is not applied on this one. It was on the previous video. It is only applied on this shader. Okay, this is the most pretty simplistic basic form of this shader. This shader, you can select it, and as you can see, all of the parameters are still there. You can still continue playing with this, with eye saturation, with the inner eyes contrast. You know, you can have these parameters for realistic. Look at that, that's freaking snow. It looks cool, looks just fantastic. Alright, so this, as I mentioned before, is being affected by lights. This point light right here, if you switch the color of this light, let me copy that value first, and then if you switch that value, you're going to get that effect reflected on your environment and of course in your models. So I hope you like this presentation. This free shader is yours. Thank you so much. We're getting near the 10,000 subscribers here in the channel. It's a big deal. God willing, I want to bring more content for anime creation in 2021. It's something that I've already planned it, and it's mind-blowing. I cannot reveal it yet, but I can give you a teaser for that. So before going there, don't forget to subscribe. More amazing content like this, more free assets are coming. We are getting near the 10K users, and it is a big deal. We'll probably cross it before Christmas. And of course, please do not forget that Patreons are also going to get amazing rewards this month, and it's all as a token of gratitude for supporting this channel.